Good day, everybody. Today we are going to learn about misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation with a real big focus on misinformation. We're going to be familiar with the other two. Why? Of course you asked. So that way we can know what to look for when analyzing sources to see if they're credible and trustworthy, or if we should just toss them away. You'll know you've got it when you can define and explain misinformation. Locate one example of misinformation. Explain why it could be a problem if people read and believe it. And explain why it is important to locate bias. Let's get into it. Let's do it. So fake and facts. What is true? What is not? There was a time a few years ago, Kellyanne Conway from Hamilton coined the term alternative facts, which basically just meant it's not true. Could have just called it a lie, maybe? I don't know. I'm not taking sides. It's not political. This is alternative facts, or just we're going to present things a different way. All right, can we believe it or not? Is it true or is it misinformation? On the back of your paper, I should have had you, so the back of your guided notes for 1 and 2, if we're crossing out some questions here, you should have circles that you drew. Label misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, and take these definitions down. I will pause the video for you to do so, but I will go over them real quickly. Misinformation, which most of this video shall be on, unintentionally distributing incorrect information. All right, so it's like you don't really know what's kind of going on. Really, we're going to be focused on disinformation. Knowingly developing and disseminating incorrect information intended to deceive. So your notes are going to say misinformation. A lot of the examples I'm going to give you are really disinformation. Then there's malinformation. This would be disturbing information, such as personal information, shock value, stuff that you know is going to harm somebody. Put it out there. Gossip can be malinformation. All right, so you have 5 types of misinformation, or I call it, which really could be disinformation. Satire, false context, imposter content, manipulated content, fabricated content. Here we go. So you're going to be taking down the definitions in your guided notes, but satire, fill in the stuff that's underlined, use of humor or exaggeration to critique or mock, make fun of a person, organization, or policy. For example, if you looked over here, you'll see save the earth, 2 people were doomed. Meanwhile, the Twinkie was about to go away a few years ago, and people are like, save the Twinkie. Now this is exaggeration, tended to mock people who were more worried about saving the Twinkie than saving the earth. Clearly, there's an issue there. They're using satire to show that, hey, maybe we should focus on something else. The Onion is a popular website that has a lot of satire. One thing they had recently, on St. Patrick's Day, Chicago always dyes their river green for St. Patrick's Day. Well, they kind of mocked it and said Chicago temporarily stops dyeing the river brown, saying that their river is brown and dirty and disgusting, and they're just not going to dye it brown. They're going to dye it green instead. So it's kind of like poking fun at the fact that their river water may not be the cleanest. All right, so that's satire. False context, misinformation that takes an image, quote, or another piece of content and puts it to a new false context to change the meaning. A lot of times what you're going to get is a photo from an event years ago that they'll use to say, this is a current event. For example, this is a picture taken in 2007 in Vietnam. It was reused by some media outlet back in 2015, I believe, after an earthquake in Nepal to say, look what's happening to the kids in Nepal after the earthquake. But it wasn't a picture from 2015. They used it in false context to try to paint a picture of the story. Can't do that. It's misleading people, misinformation. Imposter content uses a well-known name, brand, or logo to fool people into believing that it is actual, authentic content from representative of that brand. For example, this was a headline from something long story short, there are news websites out there that make themselves look like CNN or Fox or CNBC, yet they kind of are ads for something else, but they put the logo on there, and people believe it because they don't actually look at the web address to see if it's actual CNN.com. Somebody put out a tweet a few years ago, about 2 years ago now, we've just overthrown the government of Brazil. Makes it look like it's from Chiquita Bananas. But if you look, it says, has got the check mark. It's got to be true, Chiquita Brands. But then the real Chiquita, Chiquita without the check mark, you see the check mark size is a little different. So people manipulate these things. You can't always go by the check mark and go, it's verified. Not always. Chiquita says, we apologize to those who have been served from a misleading message from a fake account. So, yes, imposter content. Always look and make sure, is that the actual organization? If you're not sure, go to your organization's webpage, click on their Twitter link, or Insta-Spam link, or TikTok link, and make sure it matches up. Manipulated content, misinformation or disinformation, in which something is altered from the original. A lot of times this happens with images that have had content added or removed using photo editing tools, such as Photoshop. You know it's Photoshop. I call it Photoshop. Right, here's an example. So Princess Kate from England has had some medical issues. She hasn't been seen in public in a while, so they want to put out pictures, make her seem like everything's okay. Well, they put out this picture of her with her kids, and somebody had the time to go through, and where they have boxes, they found things that they thought might have been manipulated, such as this one down here. Is part of her sleeve missing? You be the judge. Is this photoshopped? Is that really a picture of her with her kids recently? Could be manipulated. We don't know. Fabricated content. Misinformation that is entirely made up, designed to deceive you into thinking something is real. Here's an example. News story, there was a lot of reason our TV shows in the fall of 2023 were not coming out because there was a strike, the writers and the actors. Well, this story said LA officials are investigating NBC for cutting back trees that provided shade. So they were just like saying it. The studio took away the shade of the striking actors and workers. It wasn't true. Somebody put this out there to make NBC Universal look bad. So you got to make sure, again, this is from a trustworthy source. This was not. TikTok. The algorithm was set up in such a way that there were a lot of misinformation, disinformation was spread about COVID-19 back a few years ago. A lot of studies on that. So you have to look at, can I trust the source? That, 5 types of disinformation, misinformation. We will work more with this. With that said, Morty out.